It's going to be a fun journey, though. I guarantee it. Because you know what I love most about this? What I love most about this is we represent the broad spectrum of what we want to talk about. We represent parents, coaches, counselors, teachers, bosses, business people. And that is so incredibly important because what we're going to be going over in the next 6 sessions is very key information for everybody that interacts with a child. When I'm teaching or I'm speaking at an event, 100% of the time, somebody's going to come up and ask me a question about a child. 100% of the time. And they'll come up and they'll ask about their children. They'll ask about their grandchildren. They'll ask about a niece or a nephew or an adoption. There's something going on. And that's where we're going to start right now. We're going to start right there. So we want to know, do you have a child that you feel like you've tried everything? Like they're challenging and you're not sure if it's them or you, right? So I'm going to ask you this question. What would you fix about your children or the child that you're thinking of? Your eyebrows went right up. So I'm going to pick on you first.
I would fix the fact that he thinks he knows everything.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like you can't, even if he knows he's wrong, he's going to argue you down.
Really?
He really is. And almost not trying to get blood from you, but you just feel like it's so exhausting sometimes. Just having that conversation. It's like, why does it have to be such a debate all the time?
Interesting.
And it doesn't go away,
and it
even as an adult?
So he was like that, like a little guy?
Oh my gosh. Like even at 26 now. And I think I've gotten to this point now where I'm just like, okay, it's fine. And he's just like, no, don't quit. And I'm like, why do you?
He literally says, don't quit?
He literally says, why are you stopping? Like, don't. And I'm just like, I don't have the capacity. I can't. I just don't. And he's very opposite from his brother.
Okay.
So I would really want to it's okay.
Fix that, right? Who wants to be next? Young man?
Go for it.
You look like you're just ready to say something.
I do typically have an answer to questions, but what do I want to fix in my child? Well, we have a child that is that can be quite moody.
Okay.
And
what do you mean by moody?
We had a babysitter the other day that when we got home, she said, we said, well, hey, how was this particular child? And she said, I don't know, I haven't seen him. He came downstairs once, but he didn't say much.
Okay.
And so that drives us crazy because we want him to be kind and caring and courteous.
Okay.
And then I have another child that is just very strong-willed, and I would love to know that one. I don't want to fix that. I really do want to help unleash her. I feel like that is the way she is, and I don't want to crush her.
Okay.
I want her to really learn how to channel that in the right ways.
Yeah, channel that energy.
Yes.
Interesting. I like that. Rachel?
I think when you say that, I think about a couple of things. One, in the classroom setting, just when things are a little bit out of control and I'm not sure how to kind of deal with, like I said, the energy that's coming at me. I have a middle school class, and so it's a great age, but they all kind of have their own view of what they want class to be. Sometimes if I'm giving instruction or setting us up for what we're gonna do, they all have questions that they're from their perspective, and just being able to speak to them and give good instruction because I know they're all coming from a different angle.
Interesting.
When you're thinking about at home, my middle daughter is full of life and curious and loves to have fun. I have sometimes said we could take her to Disney World and then leave, and she would say, what else are we doing today that's fun? Or what are we doing today that's fun? And so I would love to know how to I mean, I would love to go home after Disney World, and that's plenty of fun for the day.
Take a break.
Take a
from the
break.
vacation.
That was it. And I find sometimes when I speak to her in those times when she's looking for fun that that she just deflates. And so I don't, like you, I don't want to hurt her with my words. I want to build her up, like you were talking about. And sometimes I'm not sure because I can't necessarily manufacture fun all the time.
Interesting. Brent?
You know, I'm thinking with one of my kids, I'd just love to say, just get on the bus. Let's go. We're ready to go. If the one I'm thinking of, you know, he can be the fly in the ointment or sort of the grit in a well-oiled machine. And sometimes I don't want to debate. I just want you to be obedient and come along. All the while, I know, you know, there's ill effects on my kids sometimes when I can just be scorched earth. Just do what I say. You know, if you want an opinion, I'll give it to you. And you know, you're talking about debate. Sometimes you just don't want the debate. You want obedience and just follow. But I've got one that's very creative and you know, there's no timetable. And you know, the things I do, there's always a timetable. Get it done and get it done well and in a given time. And, you know, there's sort of a tornado, this child of clothes and paintings and creativity that just sort of, just get on the bus. Let's go. It's time to go.
I don't want to take a bus. I want to take a scooter.
Just, or I'll walk, you know, whatever. It just, and I'm not always ready for those conversations, and I'm not always patient during those conversations.
I like that child.
I like that. What you're all saying is so great, and I can validate every single thing you've said because I hear it all the time. But what's very interesting and what I find is that when I meet these children, if I get the opportunity to meet these children in my office, you know what they are? They're delightful. They're funny. They're interesting, right? They're lovely. And what I think is that, truth be told, it's what we're expecting of our children. And when they don't react or respond in a certain way, we all of a sudden think it's a them problem. Just think about that for a minute. Because what I want to talk about right now is expectations. But I don't want to talk about expectations of the children we're thinking about. I want to talk about expectations of you. I want to talk about your parents' expectation of you. To me. Well, again, we're talking about how you respond. Brent, kids,
You know, I've
think
got
of the things.
two very distinct things that are hitting me right
Okay.
now. The kid that, my child that, you know, we have challenge, he and I conflict. I had an online journal that I kept, and I asked him to print it for me. So, you know, he was very creative and put pictures on the front, and it was like 1,500 pages and printed it for me. Apparently, he was flipping through and saw one of the notes from 9 years ago, and he and I had an argument. I don't know what it was about, but I was confessing to my journal that I shamed him, and that I was very harsh on him, and that was tough.
Yeah.
And sometimes too, this was a week ago. My wife and I were having the pillow talk, and sometimes the pillow talk's not, you know, you're not ready for it. And she said, you know, you were really harsh on Caleb growing up. And my mom noticed it, and my dad noticed it. And I'm like, that moment you feel all the things that I saw with my dad that I said I'd never do. And it was there. It was right. It was black and white in my journal, and my wife is telling me something like that. So.
And you took that arrow.
Oof.
And it's hard to look at that response.
Oof.
That's why I'm asking you. I hear a lot that parents think, oh my gosh, is it too late? Did I hear this too late? My kids are adults, or this or that, or I have 5 kids now. We're hearing it now because we're supposed to hear it now. This is when you will receive it. Asking you. I hear a lot that parents think, oh my gosh, is it too late? Did I hear this too late? My kids are adults, or this or that, or I have 5 kids now. We're hearing it now because we're supposed to hear it now. This is when you will receive it. just like when Tracy felt safe enough to
There-
give that to you.
There's a lot of hope
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
Brent, your stories got me all choked up.
See, I told
Gosh.
you.
I know.
First session.
That's right. But there
Not
is
very fun, is it?
no.
Oh.
But there's so much hope in that. That
Yeah.
is so amazing
I
that
know.
it's not too late right now.
No, it is not too late at all, right?
Right.
So I want you to think for a second about the stories that we just shared. And I want you to think, if you kept saying and doing what you were doing, what do you think would happen in 5 years? Or 10 years? Or 20 years? What do you think's going to happen? What is that echo going to look like? So, what we're going to be talking about in the next few sessions, though, is how to make sure we are using our words to build children up instead of tearing them down. This is not a discipline strategy. There's no charts, there's no graphs, there's no magic pixie dust. It is in the framework of communication that has the power to change every single conversation that you have with a child. If you learn this approach, I guarantee you it will change. Something's going to change.
Guarantee.
I guarantee you, Clay, that something's going to change. You know what? Discipline will be easier. Teamwork will be easier. Parenting will be easier. Teaching will be easier. Okay? I've seen it happen over and over and over again. So in the next session, we're going to discuss why the children in your life behave the way they do.